how to get the most out of your business so you can have control, wealth, and make a lasting impact in your market. So, the first thing that I want us to look at is something that Winston Churchill said that is very, very relevant to entrepreneurs. So, he said men occasionally stumble over the truth, but most of them pick themselves up and hurry off as if nothing happened. And what this means for a business owner is that usually when I look at a business, whether it's in the fashion industry or in the finance industry or e-commerce or energy industry or healthcare or education, it doesn't even matter what business it is. You can usually see the truth in either their numbers on their website or in their physical location. It's always evident what should be done, especially when you're from the outside. It's kind of like watching, a football game or a basketball game. It's very easy to see what the player should be doing or shouldn't be doing when you're in the stands, right? But when the player is playing, he can't see everything. And that's the same in business. The truth is usually right there, but the person is so busy. And I get it, because as business owners, we are busy with, our marketing, our product, our sales, the competition, inflation, government policy, operations, whatever it is. Like there's so much that gets in the way, and there's so much that can cloud our judgment. But it's important to look at your business every once in a while, at least once a week, for an hour, and look at it from the standpoint of someone who actually isn't running your business. And that's why it's good to find some other entrepreneurs who are not in your industry who can look at your business more circumspectly than you can. When I speak to business owners, one of the most popular things everyone says is, my business is different. Everyone really does believe that their business is different, and there are nuances. There is a difference between e-commerce and mining and manufacturing and so on, but but that's usually where the differences stop. Most businesses are doing the same thing, providing products, services and value to people who want to buy them, right? Business is actually very simple. We are identifying the right, opportunity, fulfilling that need or desire, and then making money from it. It's really, really simple when you break it down like that. So one thing that's really important is that look at your business differently. Look at your business as if you weren't running the business, and you'll be able to see things that others cannot see. And another thing that has made me successful, and the people that follow me, and people that I work with successful, is that you should be able to look at a business that is not in your industry and take lessons from it. And that brings me to my next point. But before that, I will talk about, for those who this is your first time listening to me, my name is Jeffrey Mano. I'm an entrepreneur, marketing and advertising strategist, and I really, really do love books. I read a lot, and I have a post somewhere on my website about how to read a 300-page book in 2 hours, and it will really help you. There are a lot of business owners who are too busy to read. So because of that, all they do is that they have to copy what their competition does, or they have to use common sense. And as one of my mentors says, common sense will really give you just common knowledge or common results. It doesn't give you anything more because it's very common, right? But the funny thing about that is that common sense isn't even as common as you think it is. But that's a subject for another day. So let's get started. There's a difference between data, information, and knowledge, right? And when I talk about looking at industries that are even different from yours, you should be able, as a business owner, you should be able to look at, an industry that's not your industry and pick out what is the working knowledge from here. It doesn't matter if you're in real estate or if you're in manufacturing or if you're in e-commerce or if you're in, information marketing. What can you pick from, real estate or e-commerce or finance and or education? What is the working knowledge you can pick there to give yourself results? And so, for example, the way that doctors have a process, if you go into a doctor's office, they have a specific process of operation. There are things that they'll ask you first, things they'll ask you second, things they'll ask you third, and then there are things that they will say at the end to get you to do something else, right? Many businesses don't have a process like that. They may have a process operationally, but they don't have a process when it comes to their marketing and their advertising. They don't have a predictable way to attract, convert, and and retain clients or customers the way that maybe a doctor has when it comes to their operational side of their business. So it's very important to think about, okay, so what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, what is the working knowledge in here? And I've taken a lot of courses, I've read a lot of books, but now there are things that I have to reread because when I read them or the courses that I took or the events that I attended, I didn't ask myself that what is the working knowledge in here and apply the working knowledge. So there are things that I read 15 years ago, 10 years ago that I have to revisit because I didn't read, I read them for the data or for the information or for the knowledge, but not for the working knowledge, the thing that actually gives you results. And when you're, online or when you're, going to, get a consultant or whatever it is you're going to do to get knowledge or get some information, make sure that this person is giving me working knowledge, things that I can apply today to actually get results. One of the questions that I ask my friends all the time is, so this book that you read or this course that you took, did it actually make you money? Did it actually give you a return? That's something that's very important to think about. If it didn't, then you have to tell yourself that, okay, well, I read this thing for entertainment, or I just read it, to put some knowledge in my head. Because there are a lot of people who read a lot or take a lot of courses or whatever it is, but don't get anything from it. So there's also people on the opposite side who believe that, well, since all these people are not getting results from it, I also don't have to, read anything or listen to anything or study anything, which actually is it's not wise at all, because how can you do better if you don't know better, right? All right, so these are the main things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to get the maximum return on investment from your business, right? You don't have to go start a new business or anything like that. From your current business, how do you get the most out of your business? And we're going to talk about these things. So the who, the what, words and images, marketing system, traffic conversion, your store, whether online or offline. But we're going to talk mostly about online, sales, profits, and retention. All right. So the first thing is, who are you, right? Who are you and who is your customer? And the reason why I talk about this is because it's very important to know who you are as an entrepreneur or a founder. There are entrepreneurs who are more operational, the entrepreneurs who are more on the management side, the entrepreneurs who are more on the marketing side or the sales side or the advertising side. But if you don't know who you are, you will become a CEO when really you should be the chairman of the business and hire a general manager or hire a CEO to run the business. There are entrepreneurs who are more investment minded. So they shouldn't be the ones doing the daily operations of the business. But if you don't know who you are, you may think that, well, I have to be CEO because I started the business or I bought the business. But that's not right. The right thing to do is to do what we call founder market fit, right? Find out first who you are, and that will tell you, okay, I'm more, let's say, operationally driven, so I should be the one running the day-to-day activities of the business. Or I'm more sales driven, so I should be the one going out there for business and having someone internally who's managing the operations, right? And then the second thing is that the founder market fit has to be perfect. There are people who are perfect for high pressure, high intense, high activity businesses, like finance and the energy industry and the sales industry. Those are very, very high octane, high activity industries where, depending on the kind of person you are, that's the perfect industry for you. There are also those who are perfect for other industries, like education and professional services and so on. People who can do better in those industries. There are people who are very good in technology. In terms of you as a founder, you have to make sure that this is a perfect fit for me. And one way to find out if something's a perfect fit for you is to look at what are the things that came self already installed in me when I was born. What are my natural giftings, natural talents, the things that I see differently that other people do not see. Look at your siblings, look at your friends, look at your family members. What are the things that make you different from them? The things that came factory installed in you are a good pointer to see, where God is leading you, to see where you should operate, to see which markets that you should be in. I know a lot of entrepreneurs who are struggling today, and they think it's their employees, they think it's the product, they think it's their competitors, they think it's the market. But the truth of the matter is that many times it's the wrong person in the wrong industry, or the right person in the wrong industry. You have to sit down and ask yourself those questions. Another way to tell this is to see how much love you have for the product, how much love you have for the industry, and most importantly, how much love you have for the customers in that industry. There are people who love um, women's clothing because they love models and they love the way that clothes look on a woman and what clothing does, for the world. There are people who love technology. There are people who love shipping. There are people who love, freight forwarding or construction. There are people who love buildings. Like they can literally look at blueprints all day. You have to find out where the love is in you, and then let that be a pointer to the market that you should be working in. Another thing to talk about is you have to look at what the awareness of the market is, right? So I'll go through this really quickly, but there's a very good book on this called Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz, which you should read, and I'll share some resources at the end of this video. So the first thing is, if there are markets where you are the first in the market, right? There's no competition. You are literally the first person who is bringing this product. It's a new innovation, whatever it is. And in those markets, all you have to do in your advertising, your marketing, is to say that buy this and you lose weight, or pay us and you'll be able to save X amount for your retirement if you're a financial planner or an advisor, right? If you're selling real estate or if you're selling things online, literally all your ad is going to say is, hey, come and buy this, and it's a great deal. And that's the first level. There's no competition there. The second level is where competition has come in. You're not the only person in that market. There are other people in that market, and they're a little bit formidable, right? So there you have to change your messaging. There you have to change your approach. So in that market, you will say things like, you know let's say you are in the financial services industry, because I work quite a bit with financial services people. You say things like, even if you make just $50,000 a year, you can still get 700% returns on your money, on your savings, in just 3 years, right? Or in just 18 months. Or you can say something like, let's say if you're selling a physical product, you can say that we use such high grade materials that you can keep this thing for 50 years. That's why we have a 50 or 100-year warranty. The second level, how it's different from the first level, that in the first level you were saying that just come and buy my stuff. In the second level, you are enhancing, you are explaining, you are making it bigger in the mind of the person. You are showing how much more your product is, how much more your product is better than what is out there. And then the third level is where the market is saturated, right? Which is where a lot of people are today. There are a lot of competition. There's a lot of competition. There are a lot of people who are already in your market. You already even came to meet them. They may have more money and so on and so forth. So the market is saturated, now what you come in doing is that you don't come in saying that I'm just better or cheaper than the competition. What you come in is doing is that you say that this is a new angle, or this is a new mechanism, or this is a new product, or this is a new way to do things, right? So for example, I'll give you an example. Let's say you are selling shoes, for example, right? Here is where you say that we've invented a new process that makes the leather softer, and yet it makes it more comfortable and makes it breathe better. So your feet will feel like you're even walking on pillows, right? So here you describe it as a new thing. You don't describe it as, oh, it's just a shoe like everybody else's, but we have more colors. No, now you have to position it as a new thing. You don't position it as better than your competition, which is what a lot of people do. They just say that we are better than our competition, but no, you position it as a new thing, right? So, for example, your marketing can say something like, "I saved enough to buy a second home in under 2 years while making just $50,000 and taking a vacation every year, and I did this by using the matrix dividend matrix system," for example, right? What that says to the person who is looking for a financial services provider, or looking for an investment opportunity, is that, wow, this is something I've never heard of before. This is a new thing. This is what is the dividend matrix system, right? You have to invent something new. That's why even like how you name your products and so on have to be unique. It can't just be, oh, we have a two-bedroom apartment that we are selling, or we are selling these dog toys or these body products. No, it has to be new. It has to, because nobody wants to buy something that's just better than the competition, or better than the alternative. People want to buy things that are new and novel, and things that they feel will solve their problem better. So that's, or solve their problem more in a new way. That's actually what it is. So that's the third level. The fourth level is where you have ridiculous competition. The incumbents are really big and are doing the same things that you're doing. They're already saying that they're also new and have new things out, and so on and so forth. So in this market, and a business to steady when it comes to this is Procter and Gamble, right? How mundane is soap, right? There's so many people making soap, but Procter and Gamble has so many different kinds of soap because they've made each one seem like it's a new product, right? Sometimes they have to just change one ingredient and it's a new thing. So you have to think about that. But anyway, so in the fourth stage of sophistication, you think about things like the Mac and the PC, right? People already know what the Mac is. People already know what the PC is. People already know what the benefits are. So now they can't just, say that we are better than a PC or we are better than a Mac. They have to come out now with a combination of a new angle, but a new angle that also has other benefits, right? Benefits that are like faster, quicker, cheaper, smaller, can fit in this place. You get it in the 24 hours, you get it in a day, you see results quickly. Now it's a combination of both new angles and also the benefits that people already want in that market, right? And the way to think about this is that think about it that now you are going on with both the angle side, but also the benefit side that the market already wants. But you're offering even more benefits, right? Benefits that they haven't even thought of before. So when everybody in your market is offering 1 week shipping, now you offer 2 week shipping. When everybody in your market's offering just one product, you're offering one product with additional frills or an additional upsell or an additional bonus. So that's the fourth level of sophistication. The fifth level is when now the people have seen everything, right? They've seen all the angles, they've seen all the features, they've seen all the benefits. So now it's like in this market is so saturated. It's like the food market, right? The restaurant market. The, Everybody knows everything that they think they should know about restaurants, right? So food is not something new. How do you in this market where maybe your competition is literally selling the same thing that you are selling, or even on the same street that you're on, or you're all advertising on Facebook or Google or Twitter or whatever it is? How do you differentiate yourself and call out the right customer in this level? And the thing to do here is you have to make it about the person. So now it has to be like we are making this product about you and not just about the features and benefits and so on. And I'll talk a little bit more about the sophistication in that light later. But and a good example of this is Dove, right? So Dove has positioned themselves that we are selling both to your logical mind, which is that this product will actually help your skin, but we're also selling to the emotional part of it, right? We are talking about what beauty means to the customer. And it's the same thing, whether you're selling real estate or financial services or software products. It's really, really important to do both in this place where you are selling to the emotion, where people are buying not because they necessarily need the product or see your benefits, but are buying because they feel an emotional connection with the brand. So this is where branding, comes in. And for a lot of entrepreneurs, branding seems like you're wasting your money. But if you start branding early on, where people feel an emotional connection, right? Where they are going to go and, buy shoes or whatever it is, and they think, I could get this for the same price somewhere else or even cheaper, but I love this brand. I believe in this brand. So those are the five levels of market awareness. And I'll share these notes on my website later so that you can check it out. Manuequity.com. So now let's go to the next stage, and I'll go through this really quickly. So now we're talking about the products, right? What exactly are you selling? it will surprise you that a lot of people don't even know exactly what they're selling. They're selling so many things, so they are busy with so many things that they don't understand their product. And the best kind of product is a product that people actually want, right? I've made a mistake, in the past so many times where I thought I liked something, so other people would like it. And I see that happen all the time with clients and students and so on, where people are selling something because, um, I use it myself or my wife uses it or something like that. And that's not a bad thing, right? But you have to understand that is there a demand for this? And one way to gauge demand is that are people actually already buying an alternative to this, or have they bought the same thing but have bought an inferior version, or for a ridiculous price or something like that? It's important to sell what people are buying, give people what they want. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the people have to know that they want it, right? I didn't know that maybe I wanted a Tesla before a Tesla came, right? But I always had the desire for nice things, for innovative things, for technologically advanced things, right? So I'm not saying that people have to know what they want as in a product, but you have to know what they want as in their desire. What do people want? Do they want a technologically advanced car? Then you provide the car for them. They don't necessarily have to say, "I want a Tesla," right? So this can't be stressed enough. You have to tell people what they want. Then I'll show you an example. So these are two things that I sold, or two businesses that I started some years ago. So the one on the left, I started with my friends. We built an iPhone app in 2008, and I think we're actually one of the first iPhone apps to be built at that time, especially from Africans. And the second one was a t-shirt company that I started. And the two things have something in common. I like video games and I like, fashion and t-shirts and so on. But I didn't ask myself before we started, or I started any of these things, or got involved with them, that is this something actually that people want? I didn't do enough research to find out. I just use my intuition. And you can actually use your intuition in many ways, especially if you're in an industry. For example, if you've been in the bakery industry forever, or you've been in the technology industry forever, there are insights that you've gleaned that you don't even know. So sometimes your intuition can work, but you still have to find out if there is a market for this, if people actually want this, right? And we didn't make a lot of money with these products. As a matter of fact, the t-shirt, I don't think I actually didn't even sell one of the t-shirts. I just thought it would be cool for a lion to wear a snapback. And I had a blog on Tumblr at a time called Fresh Words, so I said, okay, well, I'm gonna do that. But I should have found out what the market was. Where was I even going to sell it? Who was going to buy it? What was going to be the right price, right? But I didn't, and it cost me some time, energy, and resources. So that's a good lesson um, for everyone who is listening to this, that give people what they want. Give you can you can give people what they want, and then you can give them what you want to give them afterwards, right? But it has to be, this is what people want, and that's what you're selling. So the third thing that we should talk about is how words and images control the world. Words and images are very, very, very important. It's in your business, you have to know what is your offer, right? What is the thing that your customer needs to hear to actually buy from you? What is the thing that your prospect needs to hear to become a customer? What is the thing that your visitors need to see to convert to become customers? Right? It's very, very important to know this. You can even ask someone that, okay, what did you hear, or what did you see, or what was told to you that made you buy this product or buy from me? You have to do that, because words and images literally control the world. You can't, for example, you can't go anywhere that you haven't seen in your mind already, right? Words are actually images. When I say, let's say, black car, or red car, or black dog, or white dog, you don't see the letters BLACKDOG, right? You have the image of a black dog in your mind. If I say big black dog, or bigger than a football black dog, you see a bigger dog, right? And so you have to implant these images in the minds of your market. That's how you sell. You have to implant these images. And like I was saying, you can't go where your mind has not seen. So your business also cannot go where your mind has not seen. For example, you never end up in your kitchen or end up in your bathroom and wonder, wait, how did I get to this kitchen or and get to this bathroom? Your mind saw where you were going and then you ended up there. So that's the same thing with the market, your customers. They have to see where you're trying to take them so that they can get there, right? And another thing about words and images is that in your marketing, you have to make your message very, very simple. When you ask many people that, what business are you in, or tell me about your business, they can't tell you in less than a minute or in 2 minutes. It has to be a long lecture. And usually when that happens, that means that they are not explaining it to the market well enough anyway. You really have to clarify your message. And one easy way to do that is to say, this is what we have, this is what it will do for you. That's one of the easiest ways to say it. Then the next thing is your offer, right? So I put this up, like say 50% Black Friday. The offer is one of the most important things in your marketing. What exactly is the offer? Why should someone buy this? What is the incentive? And it doesn't always have to be discounts, right? The default thing that many entrepreneurs do is that if they want to make money, then they just want to slash their prices. That's why a lot of people don't have profitable businesses. No, an offer can be so many things. You can have bundles, you can have, scarcity, you can have all kinds of things that actually make someone want to buy. It can be great customer service or a follow up or whatever it is. But there are so many different kinds of offers that I'll put these up on my website so that this doesn't become too long. But you have to think about what exactly is my offer, right? And I was talking about the other forms of sophistication to think about. So many people, when they start out, they will start with, this is what I do, come and buy my stuff, right? That's just really the first level, and that's what everybody does. The second level is they'll talk about the customer letter that if you buy this, it will give you this benefit. So they move from talking about themselves to now talking about the customer and the benefit, which is good, right? But that's not the end. You have to provide some form of market data, right? So when it comes to market data, for example, you can say that 70% of people who have tried this particular vitamin have gotten, you know, these results, but 10% of them in this market have gotten 10 times the result of the 70%. Do you want to know more about this vitamin and what it can do for you? That is completely different from just coming by the vitamin, right? This is market data that is backed by a good call to action and something that people should do. So that's something that I wanted to, share because it will make a big difference in how you market your stuff. So now let's talk about business growth systems. And I call these having a predictable selling machine or having a system that where you literally put a dollar in and you get your money back. If your business is not predictable, if you can't say, okay, a month from today, these are the number of leads we're expecting, these are the number of customers we're expecting, these are the number of sales that we're expecting. If you can't say it's that predictably, then your business is really, really at a very low stage and anything can happen. You have to really understand that your business has to be a system. It has to be something that's so predictable that even if you are not around, someone else can take over the business. And that's what actually helps you to be able to sell the business one day, where it's so predictable that all the person has to do is put in money or put in effort, and they will get the same result that you got at the end of it. And when it comes to the marketing side, the system is really by attracting, converting, and retaining customers. That's what your business should be doing every single day: attracting, converting, and retaining customers. That's it, right? But another thing to think about is that as a business owner, you have to think not just about income, right? Which is where we all started. We all started out with, we have to make money and so on, but think about value. When your business becomes an asset, when your business becomes a predictable selling machine, what happens is that now the business is valuable, right? So it doesn't matter if you're making 500,000 or 500 million a year. Now your business is worth more than the revenue that you're making because you made it a system, right? So it's not just your website or anything like that. For example, I have a sales page on my website where all I literally have to do is to spend money on advertising, send people to that page, or find someone else who will send traffic to that page, and I'll make money at the end of it. And this will happen forever and ever, if the Lord tarries, because it's a predictable system. That presentation will turn people who don't know me or have found out, about me somewhere, but people who have that need into a customer just by seeing the presentation. It's very, very predictable. So every business, for example, needs some kind of presentation, some kind of sales pitch, where as long as traffic hits that sales page or hits that message, it turns into money for you. It has to be that predictable, right? Apple has these um conferences they do every year where they have where they show their new products and stuff every year. That is a predictable system for them for making money. Once they have that, it's actually both a physical event and a webinar, but people don't think about it that way, right? They know that once they have that event, it's going to turn into money. All they have to do is spend, a million or whatever it costs to make that event, and they know they are going to make 10, 20, 30, $100 million, in a few weeks. You have to have some kind of predictable selling system. And some things that make your business more predictable is lead generation. You have to have a lead generation system in place. You have to be reactivating your past customers. You have to be targeting warm leads. You have to be selling your current customers other offers, right? Because I work with entrepreneurs and I'll find out that their customers are buying products that they themselves sell from their competition just because the customers don't know that. Or I worked with a doctor recently, and they have about 6 or 7 services in their practice, but they have clients who come from one service and go to another doctor for another service just because they don't know. So you have to have a system where you're always giving other offers, and it doesn't even have to be your own office. You can be giving offers from your partners and so on and so forth. So that's something to think about. Now let's talk about traffic, which is what a lot of people love to hear about. And the first thing I'll say about traffic is that it's not enough to just have traffic. It's important to have high quality traffic. It's right now you can run a Facebook ad and you can get lots of engagements, but that data, is it high quality? It's not just getting the traffic or getting the people into the door. It's important to find out who are the high value clients in my market and then send those ones to your business. Because what we are saying here is that you have to get the most out of your business. It's not about just activity. It's not about just doing things. It's not about, oh, I'm just a business and I'm traveling everywhere. I'm doing this. I have a website. No, no, no. It's more, what's important is that, are you getting the most out of what you're doing? Because like I remember there was a time where I would spend, let's say, 40, 60, 80 hours a week, right? And all I would make was, let's say, $1,000. But there were people who were spending that same time and were making $10 million. And it's just because they knew how to apply themselves differently. Maybe I should have been doing, this in my business or doing that in my business. But many times I found out that it was just who I was targeting. It was just targeting people who were not of the financial economic value that I needed to hit my income goals. So that's the first thing to think about when it comes to traffic, that the quality of the traffic matters. It's not just about getting customers. The quality of the traffic matters, because when you get a high quality customer, you keep them for longer. So, for example, a lot of entrepreneurs will talk about how, like, my friends do not support me and my family doesn't support me and they don't buy my products and so on. But that's not what's important, because I personally don't really care about my friends supporting any of my businesses, because many times they are not my ideal customer. I have online businesses, e-commerce businesses, where I'm selling things that none of my friends particularly have a need of. So I don't even show it to them, because like that's not what's important. So when it comes to traffic, the first and most predictable and proven way to get high quality traffic that I have found is through relationships. When I talk about relationships, I'm talking about joint ventures, affiliates, and so on. Your best traffic can come from relationships. When you find someone who already has the customers that you want, who already has your customers, who is not necessarily in your same market or your same industry, or isn't directly competing with you, that person can give you so much traffic. And that traffic can be very high quality traffic, and it's scalable and it's high leverage, right? So whether you're using influencers or affiliates or joint ventures or distribution, it's important to use the ones that have high quality or high value customers that you can get. I remember when I used to sell shoes, custom made shoes with my brother. One very high traffic source was people who sold suits, for example, right? They had my customers, but they were not competing with me. So it was such a great source of traffic. The second way is appearances or physical events, right? So whether you're on someone else's webinar or you attend an event or you're at a place where you can actually speak to a lot of customers one on one, that's really really great. So that's why conferences are so good. That's why events are so good when it comes to getting good traffic and getting more customers. The third thing is PR, right? If you get a media source, whether it's a newspaper or a blog or a TV station that has 50 million, 100 million, 300 million subscribers, you know, subscribers all over the world, for example, that's such an easy way to get a lot of traffic and get it quickly. And if you notice, the first three things I'm talking about and ways to get traffic, that is not one on one, but one to many. Because a lot of people just focus on, oh, let me just do the things that will get me one customer, or two customers, or three customers, or five customers. When you can go to a private equity firm, or go to a VC, or go to a co-working space, or go to some kind of group or meetup or something where the person has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of potential clients, and all you have to do is strike a relationship with them that's mutually beneficial, and you get those clients without spending the 20, 30, 15 years that they used to accumulate all those clients. That's a very, very smart way to do things. Then the next way is advertising, of course. But advertising, I'm talking mainly about direct response advertising, and then content marketing. Every business actually is actually into content marketing, whether they know it or not, because they put out some words or images, which is content, right, for people to come and buy from them. So those are the things to talk about when it comes to traffic. When it comes to conversion, which is turning visitors into customers or turning prospects into clients, the easiest way to convert a person is to plant the image in their mind that this thing is actually for them and that it takes no effort for them to actually achieve the result or to get the product. You don't want people to walk through hoops or jump through hoops, walk through hoops. You don't want people to jump through hoops to get the things that you're providing. And you don't want people to feel like they have to make a big commitment to get your service or get your product. Because people are inherently selfish, so we are always thinking about ourselves. So you have to think from that perspective. And some really good ways to convert people are like risk reversal, testimonials, scarcity, urgency, social proof, and offering bonuses. When people believe that they are getting more for their money than they deserve, they will spend money with you all the time, right? So the the biggest thing to think about really when it comes to conversion is that provide more value than the person is paying you for, and show the person that you're providing more value than they're paying for. Because what's going to happen is that they're going to go home and talk to their wife, their sister, their mother, their husband, their brother. And the person's going to ask them that, "Are you sure this thing was worth it?" Or if they don't feel right about the purchase, knowing that someone's going to ask them or laugh at them because they wasted money, they're not going to buy. So make that decision for them already by offering more value than they're paying you for. So now your website, right? What does a website need to succeed? One, your website needs some words and images that actually convert. And we've already talked about that. So your headline, your positioning, your colors, your branding, all of that have to be congruent with the market that you're trying to sell to. um you need like you In this day and age, you need a good video. If your website doesn't have a good video, then you may be leaving money on the table, because people like to see things in motion, whether you're selling services or physical products. And your website has to talk more about the customer than yourself. We talked about the sophistication already. It can't be selfish. It can't be, we've been around since 1895, so you should come and buy from us. No, you should talk about, this is what you came here for, and this is what you're going to get. So people should be able to come and see, okay, what does this company do? What are they selling? What's in it for me? And what should I do next? So what does this company do? what are they selling, what's in it for me, and what should I do next. Those are the main things to think about. And there are so many other nuances like pricing and conversion triggers and call to actions that should be there. But these are the main things, right? So now I want to answer some questions that I get asked very often in our our programs and our events, and clients that I consult with, or even friends who are entrepreneurs. And people want to know, like, what are the main things that I should do to make money, right? And like I said, one of the most important things is relationships. You have to be in places where people of influence are, or places where your customers are, or people who have your customers are. You can make so much money just from relationships, just from affiliates, just from joint ventures, just from influencers, just from distribution. You have to have the right relationships. You can toil for years, but if you just get one person who has a million customers to endorse your product, it can save you literally 10 years of your life. So people don't put enough emphasis on relationships because they don't think about them that way. But if it takes even a year to get a good relationship, spend the money, spend the time, spend the energy, spend the resources, and let the person see that you are worth you know the relationship that you are trying to garner. Another thing, for example, that works with a lot of businesses is that any business that has some kind of high value event, you can make a lot of money. People love going to events, and people will pay to hear someone talk. People will pay to hear someone give them the results that will save them time, energy, money, and stress. Events can make you so much money, regardless of whether you are on an online business or an offline business. Even if you're a manufacturer, you can set up an event and still make money. Things like upsells, customer reactivation, having consistent indoctrination of your market, consistent content, um, having both an outbound sales strategy and an inbound marketing strategy. I find that many businesses are skewed usually to one way. So, for example, because the internet is so efficient, a lot of businesses just focus on, I'm just going to, market online and that's it. But if you know anything about sales, if you know anything about marketing, right, you know that the most effective way to sell anyone is face to face. And the second most effective way is over the phone. And the third most effective way is when the person reads something, right? So you should have both an outbound strategy and an inbound strategy where you are bringing in leads, and also where you are, whether it's cold calling or sending salespeople out, or sending out, emails to get, clients or partners or relationships. And a lot of people don't give enough thought to this. And some other questions that I get a lot about are, I've put out my ads, I've put out my marketing, but I'm not getting any traffic. That usually means that the top of the funnel, your ad or your marketing or your positioning or your message, it's not it's not the right one for the market. It could also mean that it's the right message, but you're targeting the wrong people. So you have to, think about that, because that's the reason why people are not coming, right? They're not even getting into your funnel in the first place. And every business should have a sales funnel. I talk about that a lot, but it's really really important. Um, no conversion. If you're not, people are coming in but are not converting, that means that your offer has to be changed. It's not an attractive enough offer, or there's no scarcity, or there's something special about it that makes people feel like there's an incentive for me to buy. So that usually has to come has to change the way you position things, the way you say things, and your copy, right? So your website copy has to be different. So, for example, you're not getting referrals or repeat business. That means that you are not systematically asking for the referrals in a way where the person believes that this is the right thing to do, or you're not showing people how much value they got from your product, for them to actually refer people. So, for example, you should tell people that, hey, thank you for buying from us. We'd like to work with more people like you. Can you refer one or two or three people, to us, and we'll give the person a good deal, based on our relationship with you, and you also will, get some benefits. And it has to be specific, systematic, and consistent. A lot of people just wait for referrals to happen or wait for repeat business to happen. You have to consistently reach out to your past customers, reach out to your new customers, and segment them according to recency, frequency, and how much they're actually spending. So your recent customers, your frequent customers, and your big spenders, and they all should get different offers and messaging. Another thing that a lot of people don't, another thing that a lot of people don't think about is like markets that other people are not looking at. Maybe there are markets that are not places where your competition is looking, where you can make a lot of money if all you do is like change a color or change the language or change your website. I always tell e-commerce entrepreneurs that look into creating sites that are specific to different regions or specific to different markets or specific to different languages. Not everything has to be sold in the United States or in the UK. There are so many markets out there where people have credit cards, people have money that they can spend. So the final thing that I want to talk about is try as much as possible not to be general. A general person is very, very easy to find if they are on their own, but when they are among other people, you can't find them. And the same thing for a general business. Right now, there's so much competition in most markets that you cannot afford to be general. You have to be very specific. You have to be very, very specific. And the thing that is going to make you very successful in business, whether you're online or offline, but I'm speaking mostly to, people who are selling and marketing things online, even if they have a physical presence, is you have to believe right. I find so many entrepreneurs who have a defeated mindset. So they may be doing everything right. They may be spending money on marketing and advertising and doing all these things, but at home when they are alone with their friends and family, they're like, I don't think this thing is really going to work, and they say so many bad things that this thing may not work or so on and so forth. And the things that you say will come to pass. It's in the Bible. The things that you say will come to pass. So the right believing matters. The right insights also matters, like I said in the beginning, that it's not just about information, it's about knowing actually the thing that works, the working knowledge. And then the final thing is right execution. It's possible to believe right, to know the right things, but if you don't execute right, and if you don't execute quickly, you will struggle. Um, the diligent shall bear rule, and when you see a man who's diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings, right? The Bible says that. It's very, very important that when you get the ideas, when you get the insights, you act quickly. You really do have to act quickly. And these are some of the resources that I mentioned. I'll share them on manuequity.com/resources. Titan by Roger Cherno, Success Systems by David Oyedepo, Samples on the Road to Success, and so on. You can find these on the website. And so finally, if you want me to help you like personally, we have what I call the business elevator system. It's a 5-week program. You have one-on-one calls every week, private coaching, you get campaigns, you get blueprints, you get sales funnels. I'll look at your copy, I'll look at your website, I'll show you ways that you can actually get the most out of your business and get the control, get the wealth, get the influence, and make the lasting impact that you want. And one thing that I have seen that saves a lot of time is when you actually find someone who actually already knows the answers and shows you the answer. And that's what I do for people who are in this program, that I'm literally going to show you the answer, and so you don't have to like figure things out. A lot of people want to figure everything out, but I'm literally going to show you the answer. So that's what I wanted to share today. If you want to reach out, you can reach out, Jeffrey Manu at Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and you can find me at manuequity.com. Thank you. Bye bye.